Hello everybody, BrosForLife here, back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be hopping right back into our series on The Walking Dead podcast. This is episode 5 of our little mini-series on the podcast of season 2 of The Walking Dead. And we are once again joined by our good pal, Virtual Party Center.
Yeah!
Wow, you screamed so loud you cut out.
I'm excited.
Nice.
It's the last podcast. I have to be excited.
All right. So we start off the episode as Clementine is falling onto the ground. And obviously we're obviously in this big war. And the baby, AJ, is laying on the ground in the cold. And you can either decide to go save the baby, or you can decide to go to Luke, which me and Mitch chose to go get the baby, correct?
Yes, the baby, IMO, in my opinion, you can go to Luke, who is a grown adult, or you can go to the child that's defenseless, and I made a sizable choice right there.
Yeah. Also, like, if you do go to Luke actually spots the baby and he goes for it.
Ooh, that's something I didn't know about. So you just brought up the fact that if you went to Luke, he went and got the baby anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in a way, it doesn't really make much of an effect, but it shows that Clementine is a caring mother-like figure that likes to take care of the baby as well.
A caring big sister.
A caring big sister. I completely agree with that analysis. And then after that, we see that Arvo's sister is on the ground, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Indeed.
He's given her like CPR, but she is not looking so hot. Right?
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
It still triggers me that Arvo's sister might have not been actually sick in the first place, and this whole thing could have been avoided if we would have maybe...
Wait, before that, Luke tells you to cover him, and then he gets shot in the leg.
Mm-hmm. Yep, right.
Yeah.
You are correct about that. I forgot about that, and that does not really have much of an impact, does it? Does he even feel that
really.
later on?
he does.
I thought about that, like around the campfire and whatnot later on. Like, does he even go, ow, my leg? No, he doesn't bring it up much, does he?
He does when we're stopping for a break.
Oh,
right
he does?
Before we go down at the like, remember when we were replacing Kenny's eye patch?
Oh, yeah, he's like, my leg's killing me and stuff. Okay,
yeah.
Yep, now I understand. Okay, so yep, he gets his leg shot. That doesn't seem to change either way.
That,
what happens?
Kenny takes the rusky and points a gun to his head.
Arvo, I mean?
Yeah, Arvo.
So, that essentially the big part that we missed in there is we saw Arvo's sister turning to a walker. And I ultimately decided to shoot it. Did you do that as well?
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do.
I think so. I'm not.
Otherwise, she might kill you, I think.
Might kill
I'm
you
not sure,
or Arvo?
You.
Me? Okay. Yep, I'm
like,
watching.
as Clementine, and then you just have to respawn.
Wait, no. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Kenny grabs Arvo, and then the sister starts to turn right behind them. So you have to shoot her, or else she's gonna get Kenny.
Really?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now, and she's turning right behind the both of them. Arvo is freaking out, like, let me go, my sister's behind me. And then you take the shot and kill her while she's crawling towards you. And yeah, so you're right, she's gonna come kill you instead, but ultimately as well, she's right behind them. So it's kind of a 50-50 chance.
Okay. And then I'm assuming if you don't shoot her, then it just makes you respawn, probably.
Probably, I would say more than likely that's a choice that is made for you. You have to shoot her, and then Arvo is just angry at you for existing and killing a walker, even though he thinks it was just his sister.
Yeah.
So,
and then after that, do you want to go ahead and explain who comes back?
There is quite a little bit of gunfight between the Russians and Kenny mostly. I mean, Kenny's really the main one with the gun.
Yeah.
Luke is injured, and everybody else. Mike, I don't know what Mike is doing. Is he shooting at people? I don't know.
I think he is, but like they didn't show much of him and Bonnie.
Okay, well, either way, Kenny's about to get shot. He's like out of ammo and he's out in the open, and then we see a Russian face about to shoot, but then suddenly a knife enters the back of his head. And who threw said knife, Mr. Bros?
Jane is back.
Jane is back. And my thoughts on this, I was pretty torn. I was thinking, like, why was she back? First of all, like, it didn't make much sense. She told us she's leaving, but she appeared out of nowhere. So like what you said before, maybe there was an ulterior motive where she maybe did go back and steal something from them and was feeling guilty. I don't know.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on her coming back?
Well, as it gets presented later on by the campfire scene, I kind of assumed she came back for Luke.
Oh,
to
like
be
a little
honest.
lovey?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just my thoughts, though.
So you think she came back just for a little romance? She felt the spark, so she wanted to come back and get her man
And to
meet.
create more drama. No, I'm just kidding. And to create more drama.
Yeah, she wanted to come back, create some more drama, separate the group a bit, and make everyone hate Kenny.
And she definitely does that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, when I say make everyone hate Kenny, I think Kenny does the good job of that on his own. He makes everyone hate him just for being so angry, but
Jane kind of like makes it worse.
She pokes the bear. Hey, Kenny's an angry person, and she just goes and says, she like pokes him and like says, okay, you're angry, I'm gonna make you more angry.
Exactly.
It's super annoying to watch them go back and forth, especially in the car scene later on when they're driving with Clementine in the back. She is just...
We're gonna get there. That is just...
Makes me mad.
Yeah. This game makes you mad a lot.
Jane comes back, and we're all surprised that she killed the guy, pretty much. Then we kind of make sure AJ's okay. After that, we kind of decide, okay, what do we do with this Rusky Arvo? And in that moment, after all the gunfight's done, what were your first thoughts on what do we do with this guy? Is he trustworthy? What did you think?
Well, personally, like in the moment, as you say a lot, that's what the game tries to put us in.
Right.
It's like an in the moment situation. I personally was thinking we should follow him, see if he does take us anywhere. But I know you were completely different.
Got it.
So
freaking hate him so much.
I'll let you go ahead and
say what you were thinking. So in the moment, I was so mad because we are playing as Clementine. Just remember this. We are playing as Clementine. We aren't playing as Jane. We are playing as Clementine. Clementine had no ill will with Arvo. We gave the medicine back to him when we made sure Jane STFU'd and let him go back to wherever he went. Then suddenly Arvo comes out of nowhere and is like, you stole from me and you blah, 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 blah. Excuse me, Arvo, I didn't steal from you at all. And then ultimately, he ends up causing a giant gunfight, which no one needed to be a part of, for no freaking reason. And then he got his sister killed, which was his own goddamn fault. He could have just left us alone. That's pretty much where I'm going to leave that.
I agree with that.
And okay, so you said that you wanted to follow him and find some supplies and whatnot. My mindset was this guy is dumb and just caused an unneeded scenario, and I wasn't even to blame for it, and he's blaming me for it. So I think this guy is full of BS, and I don't trust him. And I didn't want to follow him anywhere. I was kind of behind Kenny, but he was really angry. So
yeah.
I didn't know.
That's one of the situations in the game where I feel like for a lot of people it's kind of just like they were kind of confused on what to do, if you know what I mean.
I think
personally I was kind of like in the middle.
Right, and I think it would have been a little bit different if we would have actually stolen from him. If we would have stolen from him, then this whole situation would have made sense.
Oh yeah.
But
the only thing is, we didn't.
We didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
So it made no sense to me because we're getting blamed for something we didn't even do. And Jane wasn't even with the group anymore. So why are we getting assaulted for something we didn't do? We even helped him out. And suddenly Arvo can't tell his group, oh, wait, no, Clementine helped me against Jane. He doesn't say.
Help him?
Yeah, we helped him because Jane wanted to rob him. And we said no.
Oh, yeah. Well, technically, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why Arvo couldn't have told his group, these people are nice, Clementine helped me, Jane doesn't seem to be here, he just let the whole thing go, and that rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
So
I do agree with that.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm angry at this kid. I know you went a total different approach, but we'll continue with that in a second here. What happened after the confrontation and we started walking away? Where do we go?
I think that's where, that's when we start to, we start to follow Arvo to this said supplies. So said supplies that he has in this nice, warm,
warm cabin.
Yeah,
fireplace.
So said warm cabin.
Nice warm couch. Has lots of pets running around. Candle lit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, 5-star inn.
Yeah.
God, this kid.
Nice luxury hotel.
Oh. All right.
And then while we're walking there, I think it was Mike and Bonnie are the main two people that are screaming at Kenny, you don't need to point the gun at him. I personally disagree with that. I think it's better if he points the gun at him.
Mm-hmm. And tell us why you think that.
I think that because, like, if Kenny just had his gun, like, in his, like, his belt or whatever, you know, then, like, for all we know, Arvo could just pull well, I guess his hands are tied, but, like,
oh, true.
I don't know.
You're thinking maybe he could slip back and grab it somehow?
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Yeah, definitely a good idea. I think having the gun pointed at him is also I mean, some people might show it as like excessive force, but then again, this guy just literally ambushed you and your entire team, so you don't know if you can trust him or not, so you need to keep him at a distance with a potential way of assault his way. I don't know. Some people may view it differently. He is outnumbered, but then again, it's viewed differently. So I like your situation where he could grab the gun if you didn't have it in your hands. So I'm gonna roll with you on this one as well.
Yeah. And then after that, also the reason I say it was mainly Bonnie and Mike targeting Kenny for that main part, or like the beginning of the journey, is because Clementine and Jane were mostly talking through that. So.
Right. Do you remember what they were talking about? I can't remember.
They were mainly just talking about how Jane came back, I believe.
Do you remember why she said she came back? I don't quite picture if she said exactly.
I do not remember.
Let's see. I'm looking at it right here. I have it pulled up. I know you're probably pissed about me leaving. When I heard the gunshots, I knew it was a mistake. If it helps, the thing I normally do is walk away for good, but I didn't. Then I said something, I can't remember. We needed you, but you left. How do I know it won't happen again? That's what I told her. I said, we needed you, and you left. How do I know it won't happen again?
Yeah.
She said, believe it or not, I want to try and make this thing
work.
Yeah, make this thing work. So,
she doesn't. Does she say?
She says, all I can do is promise you I won't abandon you again, which, to be fair, I've never done before.
I mean, I guess technically she hasn't like fully abandoned us, but like.
Right. She's
know.
been pretty sketch about it though. Like she's left a couple of times and then wanted to like retreat and come back and retreat and come back.
Yeah.
So I think in my gameplay I called her a flake because she flaked off a couple times.
I mean, I kind of agree with you on that statement.
Yeah, I don't know. That's how I pictured it. When you talked to her, do you remember you saying anything specific about, her staying, you trusting her, anything like that?
Well, the thing is with my entire series on season 2, season 1 I was way better at this, but season 2 I don't think, just generally, overall, I don't think I talked much at all. So I kind of just reacted a bit. There was even some points where I really didn't even say anything, where it felt like something should have been said. So this next season I do want to work on filling the void, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yep. So this season you were more like a third party listening, and you wanted to get more of an impact and react to it instead of just rambling about things, right?
Yeah, and I feel like that was kind of a missed opportunity.
Oh, it's okay.
Because
it's totally fine. People.
It is.
When you stream, you kind of get used to just talking. But I've also learned that it's a double-sided gun as well, where if you just get used to just rambling, sometimes you miss the little details that you don't pick up on.
Exactly.
So I think you hit a really good happy medium until you kind of learn how to talk and to get the little details as well. And it's just something you learn over time.
You did really good at that this season.
It's something that's taken me a long time to figure out, how to keep talking and then also notice the little things that are happening. It's just
right.
Yeah, we'll talk about this later, but we'll finish up this and then go over this after. But it's something, maybe another podcast. Haha.
Yeah. Yeah, once we were on our way to the supplies, and all of a sudden I think this is where Luke said his leg was starting to kill him, so he was saying he needs a break, I believe.
Let's
then this is where
I'm zooming through, and Luke does sit down.
I think he collapses, right?
Yep, Luke collapses and he says he needs a break. And this is where we also change Kenny's eye patch.
Yeah, that was a good moment between them. I like that a lot.
And then also, it's really confused me. For some reason, Luke didn't want to seem weak to the rest of the group until did you pick up on that at all or no?
Yeah, when he was. Oh, I was gonna mention this earlier in the podcast, how Luke is the only one left of the original group from this season.
Oh my gosh, he is.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I was gonna mention that at the beginning, but I forgot, so.
Oh my gosh. Alvin, Rebecca, Carlos, Sarah.
Nick, Pete. Yep, and that's all of them.
7 people died in this.
6. Well, I guess 7. Yeah, technically.
Yeah, 7. Holy crap. That's
no one makes it through the entire season from the original group.
Crap. Oh my gosh. That's actually hard to believe because, well, in season 1, who from the original group makes it, I guess?
Lee and Kenny.
Lee and Kenny and, well, Clementine.
Well, yeah.
Let's see. Lee, Kenny.
I guess Lee technically would make it through the entire season because he was in the last few seconds of it.
Right. Yeah, he made it through the first season. Into the second season, though, it was just well, not original group, but Kristen Omid. But Omid, Krista, we don't know. I'm hoping I see her again. That'd be really nice.
Yeah.
Although I'm wondering how this would go over. What if Krista's? Oh no, wait. Never mind. Remember we asked.
Baby, you're gonna say that baby?
No. We're at the place at the end of the game, and I'm wondering if Krista is in there. But then I remember I asked the person if they are, and they said no. So.
Oh, Wellington. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll see her again. Hopefully we do. If the game gods grace us.
Maybe. I feel like we could I feel like either way, if you decide to have Kenny come with you, or if you decide to leave him, I feel like he could make another return.
I would love to see it. I would love to somehow see them reunited and come back together. And well, let's just talk about this at the end of the match.
Yeah.
So we get to clean Kenny's eye patch, and it's really disgusting. But
wait. While I was talking about the original group, the reason I brought that up is because that's why. Isn't that because you were saying like about Luke thinking he's not good enough to survive or something?
Yeah. Okay. Now I see what you're getting at.
That's why I brought that up, because he was talking about when Bonnie was over by Mike and Kenny, I think, because Bonnie wanted to clean Kenny's eye patch, but he didn't let her.
Right.
So while she was over there, I believe Luke was talking about how and why is it that I'm the only one that makes it out of our whole group. And then he starts talking about like how all of them died, and
I see. Yeah. Okay. So that's why when I told Bonnie that Luke is feeling sad, then he kind of takes offense to it, and I see exactly what you mean now. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, did you happen with that same outcome, or did you do something else?
I did the same thing. I told Bonnie about it, and he was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
So I didn't really understand that, but
in the moment, I won't understand it. But after you kind of described it right there, that makes total sense to why. But you know, no going back now, and it kind of didn't really matter in the long run either, because
yeah.
Shortly
it was
after.
just something he was sad about.
Yep, something he was sad about. Cleaning Kenny's eye patch it was kind of gross, but needed to be cleaned. And it was
a good moment.
A bonding opportunity that was taken really well advantage of. And I'm going to go ahead in my video quick and see exactly what he said, because he said some pretty sweet things, didn't he?
Yeah, it was really nice.
Let's see if I can get over to it really quick. Yeah, here we go. Going over there. Yeah, he's talking about Alvin Jr. and oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, we're naming him, aren't we?
Yeah, this is where we name him.
Yeah, we're like, what should we name him? And do we pick the name, or does Kenny pick the name? I can't remember.
Kenny says Alvin Jr. and then you get to say, I like that.
Yep. I like how there's no option. There's no option that says, no, I don't like that name. Well, Alvin Jr. is officially the name. And then we officially clean his eye as well. Which I've stated a few times is pretty gross, but needed to get done, and I'm sure he appreciated it in the long run. Did
he say anything else that was nicer?
I think so. Yeah, while we're cleaning the thing, I believe he says something. We're cleaning the eye patch right now. I'm looking at it, and yeah, he's burning his eye. Okay, and then we're talking about AJ. And I'm gonna expect you to be more of a gentleman than I am. He's talking to AJ, and I said he'll be tough like his dad. And okay, yeah, we're getting a really like heartfelt moment right now. So you guys are just bonding, and yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Let me just go and just kind of zoom through. Are you looking at your playthrough or my playthrough?
Both. I have them up side by side and sync.
There. He said I can't help but feel guilty that he had some part in
Rebecca
Alvin.
mentioned she liked to name him Alvin if it was a boy. Rebecca was so out of it, she wasn't settled of a name. And then Okay,
so Rebecca kind of pushed through the name, right?
Mm-hmm. So I guess that makes sense.
Cool. Well, we got an official name for Alvin Jr., and we had some nice bonding time with Kenny, which I think was kind of needed in the moment. I know we didn't go over everything that they said.
We do actually get a longer, like 5-minute bonding experience by the campfire with him. It was behind the generator thing, so. Right.
Yep. So I think this one was maybe bonding more so about the kid and just kind of talking about, how he's going to grow up and whatnot.
And then later we talk about how just our experiences throughout the whole thing together.
Right.
Which is nice.
So after we leave the little bonding session with Kenny, we start heading off, and obviously we still have a disdain for Arvo. Then we get to the campfire area where I think we both ended our episode right around there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh wait, we first find out that we're at the campfire place, and we're like, "Hey Arvo, where's this cabin?" And he said, "Oh, it's not here. It's another freaking couple-hour walk."
Yeah.
So at that moment, my trust went for him way down. What were you thinking?
Well, same here. I was like, are you kidding me? I thought, because earlier I think he said it was only like an hour away, right?
Yeah, or
something like
something
that.
like that. I don't know.
Because
it
it definitely wasn't. Yeah, he said it was close. I don't think 3 to 4 hours is that close.
Yeah, definitely not. And we know what happens when we get there. It's not pretty. But I didn't have a trust for him. This made me trust him even less. But we did get a nice bonding experience up at the campsite. So at this moment in time, what were your initial thoughts on like the relationship of the group entirely? Do you think there was a lot of a strain between the group? Did you think it was okay in your playthrough mainly?
I think at that time I thought it was all right.
Okay.
I think like the main problem was between Arvo and Kenny. However, I think Arvo was like causing an effect on the rest of the group, causing them to like side with that. I don't know if I worded that right or not.
Do you remember how he was just like off in the corner like crying?
Yeah.
And I mean, in a way, I felt sympathy for him because his sister did just die and all of his friends just died and he's being held captive. So I did feel a sort of like, okay, it is a moment that is sad for him, and I did feel something.
Right. Yeah, that's the one thing.
So it's on and off. I know Kenny has a thing for him. I have a thing for him, but I also know he's a human and he's gonna feel emotions. In your playthrough, obviously you felt more sympathy than I did for him in the moment.
Yeah.
And did that ultimately affect any decisions you ended up making around the campfire with your dialogue or how you interacted?
Did.
What happened?
It did. Like when they were all talking and the Rusky was, I keep calling him the Rusky because that's what Kenny calls him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like having a toll on how I say his name. But yeah, Arva was over sitting in the corner, and I think Mike offered that we go and give him a drink.
Yes.
And Kenny was saying, sounds like a waste of good rum.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
I think at that point I did agree with that.
You agreed that it was a waste or something, or did you agree that he deserved his drink of it?
I think I agreed that it was a waste for that point, but I think for a lot of the other things, because while I did feel sympathy for him, I personally didn't think we should waste some of our supplies.
Some of our party drank on the Rusky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. Do you remember?
I don't really know what. I don't remember 100%, but.
Do you remember?
And then also remember right before that, there was that cute little scene with Clementine and the baby where you could stick your tongue out.
The little.
Yes, that was adorable.
Do you remember Jane and her like story of her in her drinking class or whatever?
Oh my gosh.
It was a weird story, but then again, like I understood what was going on, and she was telling us a story of her past, and we were kind of getting a moment where we haven't got with her to connect on a deeper level and learn some of her past, and kind of worked on me a little bit. I kind of got to understand, okay, you had a moment when you were young where you had you made a mistake and you didn't know what to do. And you've kind of learned from that to like not trust things as they are.
Yeah.
So,
and then also remember the reason that all that stuff got brought up was because it was Luke's birthday.
Luke's birthday. And do you remember how old he was? Was he like 34?
27. 27. I'm reading. At that point right now. So.
Oh man, it feels weird. I'm 3 years younger than Luke. Oh my gosh. And you, sir. Do you want your age
15.
displayed on?
12. Wait. No. What? I'm 14 years younger.
Yep, 14 years younger than him. Isn't that crazy? So he's pretty much.
I'm almost 14 though.
Think about that. He is double your age. Double.
Well.
He's lived twice as long as you have.
Oh wow. Wow.
Twice as long as you have, and he doesn't get to live another year longer.
Oh, that's so sad.
It is. We'll get to that in a moment. So regarding Jane and her, glass story, did that have any impact on you, like on an emotional level, or did you kind of just go, oh, okay?
I don't know why that would have an emotional toll on me, but
what was your reaction to it? Like, give me some deets.
I was like, oh, well, all right then. That's pretty much my whole reaction. I was like, oh, wow.
Right, yeah. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I kind of had the same thing. I was like, oh, that's a really, unfortunate accident that happened to you.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it was kind of like, oh, crap. Well, anyways.
Oh, hold on. I want to read the toast that Luke gave.
It was a good toast.
To the loved ones that we've lost along the way, and to the hope that we see them again someday.
Yeah.
That was good.
It was a great toast, and it kind of fit into the entire rest of the game in a way. Think about it.
Yeah, it did.
So after we do the Jane thing, we go and talk with Kenny, where that is where you say, we have a little bit more intimate chat with him, and we get more relationship bonding, which is meaningful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not at that part. Are you around there?
I'm trying to get there right now, but it's in the next video.
Okay. I am there 16. Now. And oh yeah, I had a drink with Jane, and he got mad at me because he's like, you shouldn't do that.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah,
I think I said why not have one, and then I was like, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I had a drink.
I saw that.
A girl
You
your
should
age,
be more
it ain't right.
Yeah.
He's trying to be my
funny.
dad. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disappoint you. And he said, you're not, hun. Oh, so cute. And then he said this, it's probably not my place to be telling you what to do. So he understood in a way that, he's not my dad, but he's looking out for me.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
In your playthrough, what kind of a conversation did you have since you didn't have the whole alcohol thing?
I'm trying to get there right now.
Okay.
I think I want to read some of the good parts of that dialogue, because it was definitely a touching part of the
this is
story.
Where he kind of makes up a little bit for all of the bad things he says.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I can't find it. We'll go there. Oh, there we go. I'm at it, but I'll wait for you to get to it as well.
Yep, give me 1 sec.
Yep, that's fine. I'm going to take a drink of hydration, and make sure you're drinking some water if you're watching this podcast. And also make sure if you watch the podcasts again at all in the future, you have a big juicy bottle of water right by you so you're hydrated during the whole thing. Water is the health of the earth.
I've been drinking water so much during this whole podcast.
Mm-hmm. It's healthy, and it helps you stay aware and active and awake, and makes you not sleepy.
So yeah, when you walk up to him, he's comforting the baby, which is nice. And then after that, he says, just need some air. And then, what did he say for you? I think the first thing he said was
for drinking. He's like, girl your age shouldn't be drinking that or doing that.
Yeah, I'm starting to think she might be a bad influence. Yeah.
And then
the first thing he said to me was, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry for how I acted back there after Sarita was. Yeah, so the first thing he says to me was apologizing.
Okay, yeah, so he does understand his actions were wrong.
yeah, I couldn't handle it. I'm sorry. I mean, you did what you could, so.
Wow. Yeah, he definitely is feeling a grief. He's feeling a sadness. Did you reply to that in any certain way, or what did you say in response to that?
Let's see. After he says that, he talks for a little bit before you actually get a chance to say anything. And then he says you tried to help, and then I said I could have done more, because I felt bad as well.
Right. I think everyone in the situation was like, it was a up in the air thing where anything could have happened. And, you know, he's saying he apologized for how he acted. You're saying I could have done more. And then what was his response to that?
After that, he says, no, don't say that. You did everything you could, and I'm sorry if anything I said made you feel any different than that. So.
Oh my God, that's so heartfelt.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It makes me feel awful.
Jeez.
I know I can be a real S-bird sometimes. What he called Ben in the lodge. And then Clementine says stop, and then he says no, it's true, but here's where he goes into the part with Duck.
Oh no.
I miss my boy. I miss him so much.
Oh man.
I'm gonna play this audio. Sure. Actually.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and play it, and then we'll go ahead.
There, little guy. Shh. Shh, I got you.
Hey.
Oh, hey, Clem. Just, needed some air.
Kenny, there's air everywhere.
I'm sorry for how I acted back there. After Sarita was... I couldn't handle it. I'm sorry. I mean, you did what you could.
Yeah.
You tried to help, and I blamed you for it. I'm so sorry.
I could have done more.
No, don't say that. You did everything you could.
Aww.
I'm sorry if anything I said made you feel any different than that. It just makes me feel awful. I know I can be a real sometimes.
Stop.
You can.
It's true. But I miss my boy. I miss him so much. I didn't raise him like I should have. Made mistakes. Wasn't there a whole lot for a couple years. Off on a boat somewhere or other. I thought I enjoyed that time away from him. From my family. I'd give anything for one more second with them.
Aww.
Play catch with Duck.
I miss Duck too. He was a good friend. And I haven't had too many of them.
He was a good boy. Pure. Just wanted folks to be happy, that's all. A boy like that. Thrown into a world like this. It's gonna be different with him. He's gonna get raised right. I won't make the same mistakes again. That's a promise. You should get back over by the fire. Ain't no sense in both of us being agreeing.
The baby might be cold. Maybe you should bring him by the fire.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
Man. Alright, I just played it. Oh, I'm gonna cry.
I feel it, dude. Oh, Kenny, he's so...
Did you play it or no?
Yeah, I had my subtitles going, so I was watching him say it, but my mind has seen it before, so it played the music and it played the way his voice sounded.
Exactly.
So I got it as well, and it's such a hard thing. Kenny is such a complex character, where he can be so sad, so angry, so like upbeat and happy, so pepped up, so charismatic, and he can be anywhere. And the thing that I know it back to is he always when he's calmed down, he always knows, oh shit,
He's
effed
done
up.
wrong.
I effed
Yeah.
up. I'm sorry. And that's the one thing that I make most notable in people is they're able to own up to their mistakes, and he's able to do that effectively.
And the one thing that probably made me cry, that made me tear up the most, because I did shed that clip while we're talking to him, and I think the one line that he said that really got me was, "I'd do anything for just one more second with them." A boy like that thrown into a horrible world like this is just, oh man,
it's so heart-wrenching. And
yeah.
All right, well, a little bit more of an uplifting sentiment here as we invite him over to the campfire, and he actually decides to join us.
He does.
So we're all around the campfire, and we're starting to, just do some small talk, hang around a bit, and that's when we find out it is Luke's birthday. No, right? No.
No, that was before that. Kenny was, I think, over the other way when that
He was
happened.
over the other way, got it. This time, it's just more so they're just talking about, how good the night is.
Wait, no, it wasn't. Yeah. They were all there when they celebrated his birthday a little bit.
And then I believe they start drinking a little bit more, and Bonnie starts to leak her feelings for a little Luke, right?
Yeah.
She starts to, she's like, oh, did I actually just say that out loud? Whoopsies.
Yeah.
Then I think they also leak what Luke and Jane got into earlier as well. And they start
And then there's another one thing that Luke says that is really nice to hear. You just spend so much time trying to stay alive that you don't get a chance to enjoy living, which I agree with in that day and age.
Yep, and
definitely
it would be so hard. It's an apocalypse. You're trying to survive so much that it's just hard to live a normal life.
Yeah.
Did you like when they did bring up the Jane and Luke scenario, and they tried to cover it up for Clementine, and she's like, "Shut up, enough of that."
And then I think there was an option that said that's gross. I did do that, I think. I'm like, that's gross. And then Bonnie was like, yes, it is, Clem.
God, it's amazing. And then it was just nice to hear people laughing around the campfire for once in a long time. It was just something that hadn't been happening in quite a while, so it was nice.
Yeah. And then I agree. Another thing that Bonnie said is, she said, I don't think that boys, when they were talking about giving Arvo a drink, Bonnie said, I don't think that boy's a bad person. I just think good people do bad things sometimes. And I agree with that. I do.
Right. There's a guy that I watch. He's a prison guy. He's a prison YouTuber. And he has t-shirts that he sells. He says, I don't believe in bad people. I believe in bad choices. And that's what I was like, that makes a total lot of sense now. Because, good people make bad decisions all the time, and then it affects the rest of their life, even though they're a good person. So it makes a total amount of sense where maybe he just made a bad decision in the moment. I probably should have had more sympathy, or not sympathy, empathy for him, maybe. But it was just the playthrough, and how do I word this? We talked about it before, where it's the single playthrough where it's happening in the moment, and that's exactly how we were feeling. So it has this. And again,
that's the one thing I love about this game, is that it's a chance to it's like it's throwing you into that situation. And it's like, what would you do in the moment?
Yep. It is the coolest experience, and everyone has their own individualized journey, and somehow you and I have gotten the same ending twice.
Well, the first time, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Actually, there was 2 different outcomes. You could have decided not to shoot him, which I don't know why you would do that. It's another thing with the dog, I think.
Right. Yep. I see what you're saying.
But I feel like most people did shoot him, unfortunately. Right. It's unfortunate, but not unfortunate at the same time. Like, it hurts that you're killing your almost dad, pretty much. But like, you know.
Yeah, it's a spiritual thing as well. Like, you're like, okay, if you know, you don't want them to turn into a walker, you'd rather, you know, have them end their life as they are, you know, before they get to that state, and then they would probably go on to an afterlife type scenario as well, without having to endure their, you know, physical form on Earth, being a zombie eating flesh mutant thing.
Yeah, right.
So we're around the campfire, and
then after that, it was the next morning. As we're getting to the frozen lake, Kenny stumbles upon a walker.
Oh, I'm at that point right now.
That walker jump scares him? Yeah, I'm right there too. Now, did you get a chance to warn Kenny? Because my mouse was glitched and it wasn't appearing on screen, so Kenny got full-on attacked.
Yep, I did. I said behind you, and I warned him, so he was able to go and see it. So.
Oh, I guess either way, though, Kenny does have a walker landing on him.
Yep, he has a walker landing on him. He kind of gets spooked, and luckily, I mean, you know, I was able to warn him. You just kind of left him out in the cold.
It's not my fault.
Your mouse glitched. Now he's gonna blame you for that too. Yeah. So as they're walking towards the frozen lake, I think this is also where we see the cabin for what it is, right?
Yeah, it's a pile of toothpicks.
Pile of toothpicks.
That's Kenny. I think that's exactly what Kenny says,
it's
right?
It's half built.
Yeah.
This is
it's warm.
Another
fireplace, very warm.
This is another place where
You were mad.
Yeah, I got really mad, and.
Oh, same.
Okay, so.
Same, but not same.
Right. It's different.
Mine was, yeah.
When you saw that lake, did you think it was safe to cross, as Arvo was saying?
Not really.
Okay.
I really didn't, but I still kind of trusted him.
Okay. Were you okay when he said, I'll go first, you know, I'll cross the lake first, and then that kind of gave you some confidence?
Yes, it did.
Perfect. I was the same way. I was like, okay, go ahead. Cross first, we'll follow. And then as we all know...
Then again, I was somewhat hoping he'd fall through. No, I'm just kidding.
My God, don't even get me started, bro. So what happens as he's starting to cross?
I think... the first thing I said is we shouldn't clump together.
Yeah, stay distance apart.
I don't know what you said.
Yep, I said the same thing, just kind of distance, don't clump together, stay apart.
Okay.
And then
yeah, we know how that goes later.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, what happens, though, as we're walking across with the Rusky?
Across the lake with the Rusky, that is where, oh boy, that's when walkers start to come. And I saw you waited there for a little bit, right?
Oh no, I kept walking.
No, but like you before you started going, you waited to let them go ahead, right?
Right. Yeah, I waited slightly a little bit to let them kind of make some distance so we weren't so close.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so pretty much a few walkers come along, and that puts even more weight on the ice, which is not good at all.
Yep.
And then, actually, I think the first crack that you see is from Clementine. But, once Luke gets to that crack that Clementine made, because the walkers start coming onto the ice, and Luke gets to that small crack that you made, and it creates a big crack in the ice. And then, after that, Arvo starts running.
He's a little bird. That's what he is. Oh,
dude, that made me so mad. I was like, go get him.
I am going to double check something because I believe, okay, we're walking across slowly. And do we see the walkers? Let's see.
Yeah,
No, we don't.
I do.
Okay, so the walkers are just starting to get on the lake. And then Kenny,
Oh, yeah.
we see Arvo just slowly creeping more and more ahead. And Kenny says, hey, stay with us. And then the walkers go through the ice. I just watched it happen. Kenny turns his head around to look at the walkers, and then Arvo takes off and sprints. Yep, he sees that Kenny's not looking, and he runs off. Then Kenny chases him, Mike chases Kenny, Bonnie chases Mike, and then Arvo falls through the ice. Well, whatever. But at that point, we know what's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mike
It's creating a ton of vibration on the ice.
Mike, Arvo, Kenny, and Bonnie are all safely kind of towards the edge where they can kind of just get off onto land if they need to.
No, remember Bonnie went back.
Yes, in the current moment, Bonnie is following Mike, and they are ahead of us kind of towards the edge.
And then we turn around and see that Luke is in the epitome of a big ice crack. So, I know our choices were completely different here.
Yes, they were. So it gives you the option of going back to help Luke. Bonnie is even pushing for you to go help back, or go help Luke and walk back and get him. What did you do?
I personally thought that it wouldn't be too much weight, and I did go back and get him, I believe.
Okay. And at this point, do you think that was a good choice?
No. But
how about this? Let me reword that. Because he inevitably dies either way, right?
Yeah.
He dies either way. Do you think what you did in the moment, trying to go back and help him, was the right choice? Knowing that he dies either way.
I think like in the moment, as you just said, I think it was the right choice, yeah.
Okay. And then just give me a reason why you think in the moment, what you did was like the best thing in the moment. I'm going to go on mine in a second too.
Yeah. Okay. So the reason I did that personally is because I think that just like, because I didn't think, I was kind of where Bonnie was. She was saying that, oh no, you aren't gonna weigh that much, and it's not gonna break the ice, and you'll be fine. So I trusted Bonnie there, and yeah, that's pretty much just my small kind of brain reasoning.
My whole reasoning was pretty much I wouldn't say opposite of yours, but it was the differing opinion of someone else, and that was Luke. I was trusting what Luke was saying, and he was saying, don't come closer, I got this. If you come closer, it's gonna break. So then at that moment, I was like, okay, if Luke says he's got it, he's got it. I don't want to be the one to, potentially cause the ice to break. I don't want to add any extra weight to what is already cracking around him. And then that's why also when I saw Bonnie just creeping up towards him, I was like, you idiot, don't do this.
The reason that, like, if you chose to cover Luke, the reason that he dies in that option is because Bonnie goes.
It's because Bonnie goes. Yeah, Bonnie is sneaking up towards him, and Luke is literally like to both of us, don't come near me, I got this. And then later on in the story, for you, Bonnie bashes you for doing that. I remember that specifically, and I was so mad while watching your playthrough. I was like, that is messed up. You cannot be saying that. Literally, that is the second time in the game that Clementine has gotten blamed for someone's death by an adult. And
yeah.
It made me so mad because Luke, the one who was in danger, was telling us, stop, don't come near me. And then suddenly Bonnie's blaming me because she chose to not listen to him. That was a load of crock, if you ask me. Why are you squeaking? Are you drinking water or something?
Yeah. So I couldn't scream. It's just like, oh, Bonnie, what are you doing?
Made me so mad. So Luke ultimately dies and he drowns in the lake and we can't do anything about it. Then we get to go to the cabin, which is just a stack of toothpicks, as you said, which has no heat, no electricity.
I'm an idiot, and I have this. There's no way Luke made it out of that, but I feel like there's a tiny chance, even though it's probably not true, that Luke, because we didn't necessarily. He went down further in the water. I don't know. I feel like there's a chance he made it out of there, but probably not.
There could be a chance. I believe he went into hypothermia and, his body froze.
Yeah.
But, just like Kenny, he could make a reappearance and we could be like, I thought you died, It's always a possibility. I'm hoping for it. I loved Luke as a character. His arc was great.
Luke was kind of like the Lee for season 2, I think.
He was.
Kind of.
I mean, it's a mix up between him and Kenny, because Kenny.
Yeah, but
whatever.
I'm saying I'm not including Kenny in this because we had him in season 1 as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying overall, just new character being introduced. I think it was Luke.
Gotcha. Yep, that makes total 100% sense. I see what you're talking about. Luke was Luke was kind of like the cool uncle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We get to the house and everyone's pissed because, in a way, at the moment, I thought Arvo running away caused Luke's death in somewhat way. But after rewatching some of the footage...
Agree.
What?
I think he did.
I think so, in a way. Here's the thing.
Because wouldn't all that vibration cause the ice for him to crack more? Because the ice was already starting to crack back there.
I think so, but after rewatching it, I can't make the final determination that that's the pure cause of it. Maybe it was just starting to crack regardless. In the moment, I definitely thought this guy starting to run definitely had something to do with it, and I'm still going to stick with that theory, although now after rewatching it, maybe it just started to crack, and I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt, saying maybe it didn't. I don't know, but I'm still pissed off he started to run anyways.
Mm-hmm. And then, after we got in the cabin thing, I was really mad at how long it took them to start a fire.
Right.
I was really, really mad about that.
They just started arguing, and they were ignoring everyone that was cold, including Clementine, and they were just like,
yeah.
And then you're like, can we start a fire, please? I'm dying.
Yeah. And then Kenny's over there beating up the rescue.
Yeah, I think I went a little too aggro during that moment. I was rooting for Kenny to just beat on him, and I think I probably should have held back there for a minute, but I was just mad. I was so mad because I, in the moment, thought this kid running, where he had no reason to run. He was in the front of the pack away from the walkers. He started running, and he caused Luke to die because of no goddamn reason. But now that I'm seeing it again, I don't know. But I digress.
Again, remember, in the moment.
Right.
So, it's different.
Correct.
But yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. And then another thing that makes me mad is they're still arguing, right? 3 to 5 minutes later, after getting in that cabin, there's legit a fireplace right there, and they're all just sitting there.
Yep. Oh, it's so annoying, dude.
And then I think one more thing that made me really, really very it was aggravating. What Bonnie said to Kenny, she was like, this is your fault and you darn well know it. I was like, okay, you cannot be blaming this on Kenny. This is not out at all.
Right. It's not his fault.
he's trying to protect everyone, whether he's doing it the right way or not. His intentions are good.
Right. If Arvo had not made Arvo's choices, Kenny would not have made Kenny's choices. So Arvo is the stem, as they say. So when Bonnie's like, this is all your fault, and you know it, well, actually, if you look at the finer details, Arvo is the one causing all the snaps that's happening in Kenny.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're just gonna roll with that. So after they get the fire started, and everything kind of calms down, Jane starts to kind of stick her fingers in your eyeballs and say, hey, are you gonna deal with Kenny, or what's gonna happen, right?
Oh, boy. That wasn't just then, though, was it?
It was, I think, Jane and then the rest of them, I think, too, right?
Oh, no, it was Jane. It was just Jane, because Clementine fell asleep by the fire. And then she woke up, and I think Jane brought her to the other room because everyone else was fighting in there.
Right. Yep. And then Jane was starting to say, you know, Kenny's losing it. Kenny's doing all this stuff. Kenny is angry. Kenny's dangerous. And she's just putting the blame on Kenny. Although Kenny is angry. He's an angry man. He does get angry. His temper flares, but he does it out of a protection, as far as I can tell, you know?
Same.
I think that's the root of it, is he's trying to protect the group, I would say, more so. He's trying to protect Clementine more than anything. I think with Arvo, though, he has just a straight up disliking of Arvo.
He does. He definitely does.
Yeah, but it's kind of, it's there. But if you want to elaborate on that a little bit, do you think there's a side to Kenny where he, or how do I word this? When Kenny gets angry, where do you think it comes from? Do you think it comes from a loving side, or is it just his anger?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
Because I think, let me say this. A lot of his anger comes from just overall everything that has happened to him. It's all building up, stacking up on top of him. And it, like, at that point, it's really, really hard to handle.
Right.
So I think a lot of it is just from, like, grieving type of anger. But a lot of it is also he wants to protect the group. He's trying his best, but a lot of it is just, a lot of his anger's taking over.
Yeah, it's emotional turmoil, I believe is the correct word for it, where it's to the point where his emotions are so damaged that he is kind of lashing out at people for just kind of nothing. And people can get better from that. They have done studies and whatnot. People can recover from that as long as they can kind of maintain a constant in their life where something, you know, doesn't leave them or traumatize them for some reason.
That would be so hard, though.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think
especially
in a way, the constant for Kenny was Clementine.
Clementine. I was just about to say that.
The way that we ended our story maybe fulfilled that for him, kind of like a. We'll talk about that in a second, but you know, Jane is digging her fingers in. Did you have any thoughts about that?
I was defending Kenny there.
Yep, me
partly.
too.
Like, because I was saying, no, I think Kenny is mainly trying to protect us here. And I think he's mainly doing this just to protect us and the child.
I think I said the same thing, and she was like, well, he's a broken man and he's going to stay broken.
That's what Luke said earlier in the story as well.
What?
That Kenny's broken. And he's a broken man.
He did?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He said that near the deck thing.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep, I see. I think so. Here, I think we also have a differing view because we grew up with him, right? You know, we have a thing.
Yeah, definitely. We know a lot more about him.
Right. They just met him.
And as we talked about earlier, like, we lived with him through his trauma.
Right. and we know what he went through. We were empathetic. And then also something to think about, Kenny was never with the group that we're with now. He was never with Bonnie. He was never with Mike. He was never with Luke, right? His group is all gone. Right?
Yep.
So these people have known him for the span of what, a month? And they're judging him for all of this? Yeah.
Yeah.
We've known him for years at this point, and we know him more than anybody. So I agree with you that they didn't live through it, and they're making rash judgments on a man's rash actions. Unfortunate as they are, it's just how it happened out to play out. But.
Yeah, I agree. So then that brings us to the point where Kenny is wanting us to help him get this truck ready. Remember?
Yes, I do remember that, and I also remember that did he get in a fight with somebody?
Yes, but I think that was later on a bit. I think.
Let's kind of go through the video quick and just kind of.
Yep, I'm going through it right now.
We'll see what's going on. Because this is for the last podcast, might as well make it really in depth and get the facts right.
I think we've been doing a great job.
Yes. Yep. Okay, we're outside.
I think this is probably going to be the longest podcast.
Yep, it'll be the longest one by far.
Because there's still like the ending is we're gonna be on that for a while.
Yes, we are. Yep, we are talking about we're at the truck, and he's just ranting about Jane. You know, girl like Jane could learn a thing or two about, from Lee.
Respect.
Respect.
Yeah.
Then we're trying to do the truck, and Mr. Kenny can't get it to work, so he gets more and more angry. And this is where Kenny's trying to say we're going to Wellington, right?
And I agreed with him right there.
Me too. I said
I wanted to go to Wellington, and not even because Kenny says that mostly. It's also a big part of why I agree with him is because Krista also said the same thing. Wellington is a good place.
Mm-hmm. Krista knew about it.
Yeah, so I think that actually had an effect on quite a bit of players in this series, in my opinion.
Because that's who we started out with. We started with Krista, and Krista was passed off to us from Lee, and Krista said the best place was Wellington, and somehow Kenny knew about it as well. So that's two differing places that came together and said this place has a good reputation for surviving.
And we both knew we knew both of them earlier than everyone else. So.
Right. Let's go there. Okay, yep, we go back inside, and this is where Bonnie accuses me of being a butthole.
Here, I want you to actually go over this.
I'm looking at it right now. There it is. Because Mitch decided to cover Luke so he could try and get out of there, Bonnie went towards Luke and tried to get him out of the water. That was the ice. And then that created this outcome that Mitch is about to tell you right here. Okay, so Bonnie's sitting outside smoking a cigarette. And then I walk up to her and I just look at her. I don't say anything. And then she says, "Sorry. It must be nice being a pretty little girl. No one ever expects you to do a damn thing." And I'm like, excuse me? What are you talking about? You and I both know you had a chance to save Luke. And I'm standing there. I'm standing there like looking at her. She goes, "You and I both know what happened back there." And then she said, "I got nothing more to say to you." And then she walks away.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm flabbergasted at how she replied to me right there. Just a bunch of crock. That's all. So I was very mad. And what are you laughing at?
I'm still at the part with the truck. Kenny was saying Wellington's gotta be out there, and I think I just said something random and said, "What about Mexico?" And he was like, "Why? You want a taco?" Oh yeah, I said Mexico because there was a little sign saying Mexico in the truck.
Why
It
you
was
want
like,
a
"Why
taco?
you want a taco?"
See, Kenny's good.
Good old
He makes
Kenny
it laugh.
humor.
So then we go back inside, talk to Jane. She gives us more of the Kenny spiel, saying, "Hey, Kenny's bad, blah blah blah." That's pretty much all that happens in there is more of Kenny talk. And then we find out Kenny gets the truck working. So we're all like, "Hooray! Everything's working." And then the fight breaks out.
Is this where we go to bed?
This is where the fight breaks out because Kenny wants to go to Wellington and everyone else wants to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So in this instance, I agreed with Kenny. We need to go to Wellington, or I said we need to find a place for the baby more than often.
Wait. Before that, I need to point this out. That part with the baby and Jane.
Oh, wait, what happened? I missed it. Go ahead.
The baby puked on Jane.
It did? I don't remember it puking. What? Hold on.
Yeah, okay, so, hang on.
I'm
So I was
looking at
saying I can't believe, what he did to Arvo. I'm trying to get there. But yeah, I remember this.
Oh, it did it. It puked on her.
Yeah.
It puked.
Oh my gosh.
We literally
She
just said
said
it's
you
not
want to
gonna puke.
hold him?
Nice.
Oh my gosh, that was a great scene.
Yep, and then we go outside, the truck's running, everyone's arguing because we can't agree on where to go. So then it outscales and everyone's angry, and in the moment I decided
remember Jane was also trying to compare Kenny to Carver?
Yes, she was. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
She's like, Carver must have been like that once too or something, and it's just like,
yeah. And I'm like, Kenny's not Carver at all.
Kenny's
you can
not.
never compare him to Carver. And I'm just, I
got mad. I was done at that point. So yes, you can say that we have a bias for Kenny because we've known him longer, right? We know that Kenny is not as bad as some people are making him out to be. With Jane, she has an obvious bad bias against Kenny, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, I don't know. Oh God, I'm over it at this point. Jane is, I like to think she's kind of a manipulator, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And she just likes to, I don't know. I think what maybe it also is she kind of saw a little bit of maybe a newish sister type in Clementine where that sister could take care of herself. So she wanted to kind of convert Clementine into a Jane supporter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't buying it personally. I wasn't.
I think she could have gotten a lot farther on it had she not tried to trash the person we had spent most of our life with.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
I agree. I do agree with that. What?
Who knows? I'm just rambling a little bit because I just got tired of putting up with Jane and her BS after a little bit.
Well, I mean, that's why we do the podcast, so we can ramble about things.
Right. I do know some people had like a thing for Jane. Like they thought Jane was the right choice.
Yeah.
And, like it was, oh my gosh. So my cousin, I don't know if you've known Nicholas in the Discord.
Yeah.
He loved my season 1 playthrough, and he was like, "You should play season 2. You gotta play season 2." And then after I finished season 2, I texted him. I'm like, "Here's the final episode." And then he watched everything, and then the first thing he freaking sends me is, "No offense, but you made terrible choices."
Oh my gosh.
And I texted back, I'm like, well, that's the great thing about story games is we each have our own individual playthroughs, and I think my choices were great. You would have your own playthrough that you did. And then he said, well, I think Kenny's a psychopath. And I'm like, well, that's your choice, man.
I agree. I mean, I love Kenny.
Yep.
I love, yeah. Kenny is just, and I think most players do.
Mm-hmm.
I think a majority of the players like Kenny a lot more than, like, for me personally, Kenny is probably my favorite character from season 1 and 2 that, like, not including the people that you play as.
What do you mean? Like, you mean he's just
Like,
your favorite overall?
Not, like, from season 1,
yeah,
he is my favorite character, not including Lee.
okay.
But then season 2, my favorite character, not including
Oh,
Clementine.
Gotcha. So for people that you don't play as, he's your favorite character.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I would
Personally.
have to say the same. I would say top off the same. He is my favorite character besides who I don't play as. And
Yeah.
I think it's, let's talk about this when we're done. We'll continue the story quick.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're talking to Kenny, and he's basically fighting with everybody, and then everyone leaves, and we have to go to him and basically say, you're right, Jane's right, I'm with you. What should we do? And in my playthrough, I said, you're right, let's go to Wellington.
Yep. Same here.
So everyone is mad, and then we end up going to bed, and then
no, actually, there's a little bit
There's a
of
little bit. Do you wanna go over
another
that?
bonding experience with Kenny again.
sure, you can go over that if you want.
I mean, if you don't want to, we don't have to.
Sure,
But,
go ahead. We have plenty of time. I'm willing to stay up and do some more if you want.
all right.
Yeah.
So we go into the truck. First off, Kenny's like, "Get out of here," because he didn't know it was us. But he's messing with his eye, which is like, ugh. But yeah, we start pretty much talking about how, yeah, that line he says right there, he's like, I bring in a working car and they act like I just pooped in their shit. I agree with him. He got a truck working and they're all mad about it.
Yeah, they're all mad. And I agree with Kenny. He got the truck working. He can decide where we're going.
Exactly. Either that or they can leave.
Right.
Personally,
Right.
if they don't want to go where me and Kenny want to go, they can take off and go on their own path.
Mm-hmm. And that is ultimately what kind of happens in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But like with the rest of this car scene, is there any emotional stuff that they talk about, or is morally? Oh yeah, they say, what would Lee do, right?
Yeah.
Or what would Lee say in the situation? And I said he would tell me that he doesn't have all the answers. And that's what I said in my situation. What did you say in yours?
Well, I regret what I said in mine.
Oh, what'd you say?
I said that I think he'd try to keep the group together. But like,
Okay.
I don't think I would make that choice if, like, I guess it's another one of those things where it's like in the moment, but I don't know.
Okay. I see what you're
I
saying.
don't know if yeah, I said to keep the group together, but I think I probably, if I gave it some more thought, because I answered that pretty quick. If I gave it like a second or two more thought, I probably would have said the same thing as you.
Okay. Yeah. It was just something that, I was thinking of Lee and how like humble he is. And I was thinking, I don't have all the answers, but we just got to get through it. That's what I kind of thought he would say in the moment.
And that's actually like, I think he said that a few times in season 1, I believe.
Right. I
feel
think
like
he did.
has, so. Yeah.
Let's see.
So
here.
then, does that wrap it up for that episode? And then we go to the final one?
We're on the final episode. We just have to. Yeah.
Oh,
we're on the final episode. We're just not on the final the sequence.
Yeah.
So
I'm talking about like our series episodes.
Yeah, they said in terms of Wellington, the little final thing they said, Kenny said, look, I know Wellington might be bold, but where there's smoke, there's fire. Krista heard about it as well.
Yeah.
And that kind of settled the deal for me. And I said, okay, let's go. And then we went to bed. Then the penultimate episode is the last episode here.
Man, this one we're gonna be talking about for a good while, I think, and well deserved.
So,
but,
what do you think about what happened when you woke up?
What?
What do you think about what happened
when I woke up
and you walked outside?
Well, first off, when I woke up, it was that weird noise, that rope hitting the roof, and I was very confused what that was at first.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me of a horse, but I thought about, I didn't say that out loud, but it kind of reminded me of a horse, and I gave that some more thought, and I really didn't know what it was at the end. And then we went outside, we figured out what that was.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go outside, and Mike, Bonnie, and the Russian Arvo are about to take off without us. Take the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where I could not handle that anymore. That made me mad. That made me very, very mad.
Mm-hmm. Because somebody wanted to go behind our backs, take the truck Kenny got working for us, and leave us to die.
And take the Russian.
And the Russian ultimately ends up shooting you. Oh my God.
Exactly. And when he shot me, I thought that it was a dream.
Oh yeah?
Did you?
I thought it was real because I thought that's something that he would have done, because I was having my angry bias against Arvo at the moment, where I was like, this guy is a bird, like Kenny likes to say.
But then also at the same time, I didn't think Clementine made it alive through that bullet. I thought she was gonna die, and then it was gonna end up being a dream.
Right, which is kind of what happened in a way, right?
Kind of.
Right.
And so pretty much, for those of you that maybe need a refresher, Mitch, do you want to go ahead and describe the whole thing, what happened?
Sure. Okay. So we walked outside. Mike, Bonnie, and Arvo are trying to steal the truck, and we walk up and we're like, hey, what are you doing? Huh? We draw our gun on them because obviously they're taking our stuff.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, I think we have a choice to either yell for help or maybe shoot them or something. I don't know. I chose to yell for help, and then Arvo shoots Clementine in the stomach, I think, or in the arm. What is it, in the arm? I think
it was in the stomach.
Let me just double check, because if it was a stomach shot, I don't think she'd be able to survive a lot of that. It's in the arm. I looked at it. It's in the shoulder.
Oh. Okay.
So she gets shot in the shoulder, and with that obviously wakes Kenny and Jane up, and Kenny comes out and he's like, what the F is going on? And I don't know if I hear gunshots, but we then suddenly go into a dream state, and we wake up in season 1 in the RV with Lee.
And at that point, I was like, did they just give us all this story that ended up being a dream? I thought that they kind of just fooled us completely, and that everything from season 2 wasn't real.
You thought that for real?
I thought that for a little bit, yeah.
I did too. I was like, no freaking way. And then it would have been kind of cool just to go back to that point, and then a completely different story happens in a way. But then again, it would have invalidated everything that happened in season 2, you know?
Yeah, and that wouldn't have been a good I don't think that would have worked out.
Yeah, it would have made some people obviously pretty upset because it's like, okay, everything I just did wasn't real, and or it wasn't part of the main story. It was just a dream it wasn't even part of like her actual life, and it would have made some people upset.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it ended up being a dream. There are some really, really heartfelt moments between Clementine and Lee. And then she ultimately ends up waking up in the back of the back of the truck with Kenny driving and Jane in the passenger seat somehow. And what do you think happened after we passed out and Kenny and Jane came out and were with Arvo, Mike, and Bonnie? What do you think happened? We never find out.
I don't know, actually.
Right. I don't understand it. I don't know how those three could have gotten into the car together.
I don't think Kenny would have killed them. No, I don't think he would have killed all three of them. Right then and there. No.
I have no idea.
That's not Kenny.
I have no idea.
That's very interesting to think about, though. Because you're right, they never addressed what happened to those three.
They never address it. Kenny comes out. I don't know if Kenny's armed. I don't know if he has a gun. Arvo obviously has a gun. I don't know if Bonnie had a gun.
Yeah, he shoots us.
He shoots us, and then suddenly Kenny comes out, and we go dark. Then the next thing we know, we're in the truck with Kenny and Jane. So what happened to Mike, Bonnie, and Arvo, and why didn't they take the truck like they were going to do in the first place? Something obviously happened to where they couldn't take the truck, and we got it instead. So
yeah,
I'm kind of wondering what's going on. So yeah, with that being said, we ended up in the truck waking up, and in this moment, Jane and Kenny are fighting like cats and dogs. They are arguing, and it is not a good scenario. When you woke up after that dream, what were you thinking was happening?
Well, let me just say this.
Sure.
When I figured out that it was Kenny and Jane in the truck together, I instantly assumed it was not going to end well, and I was right.
Okay.
It did not go well at all.
Okay. All right. I see your assumption there.
Because I know those two, they do not get along. They really never have.
Nope.
And yeah, that was pretty much my first thought when we got into that truck.
Gotcha. Yep. And your assumption turned out to be right. I didn't know, actually. I thought maybe we would all find Wellington and Jane would be like, oh, crap, you're right. That was my first thought. But I also thought, I've been shot. We need to address my arm now. And
then it turned out to not be that bad, like, at all.
Right. I mean, it looks like the bullet went through. I think someone mentioned that in the car.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So it would have healed naturally, which was nice, although we got lucky, obviously. So then, do you want to kind of go over what happens as they're driving, or would you like me to read that? What would you like to have happen here?
You go through that, because it's a lot.
It's a lot? Okay. So I'll give the quick but detailed version. Jane and Kenny, as they're driving in a snowstorm, keep in mind, are arguing. Jane is addressing Kenny, saying, how many people have you gotten killed, Kenny? How many people have you hurt on your time doing this? You're not protecting people, you're hurting people. I know it. Somebody else knows it, and Clementine knows it too.
Clementine knows it.
And yeah. I'm like, stop talking for me, Jane. You don't know crap.
Oh, she said, I know it. Sarita knows it. And Clementine knows it.
Yeah, Sarita knows it. And I'm like, can you shut your mouth? Because you don't know what you're talking about. You're talking for other people right now. And you're doing it to hurt Kenny purposefully. Kenny was obviously calling her dumb and, an idiot at the same time. So he wasn't, making the situation any better, but she was stroking the fire. She knew.
What would you have done in that situation if she was going a lot harder than Kenny?
Yes, she was. Kenny was obviously angry, but he had a goal in mind. He wanted to just get to Wellington. He wanted to shut up and get to Wellington. The one thing that I said Kenny was a little obsessive and over was when she put her feet on the dashboard and then they smacked her feet. I was like, I was like, okay, Kenny, come on now. You don't have to be that dumb about it.
Yeah, I thought that part was like probably the stupid part out of that scene. But like, besides that, I think Kenny is just.
I was like,
not that part. She puts her boot on the dashboard. He's like, get your feet off the dashboard.
I was like, all right, Kenny, you little petty shit, stop it. So yeah, they're arguing, and
I spy with my little eye a butthole.
Yes, I spy with my little eye a butthole, which turns out to be, in the long term of events here, a giant bunch of cars in the middle of the road. There's a blizzard, and they can't get through anymore. So suddenly, a flash blizzard hits, and no one can see anything anymore. Kenny went out looking for gas, or looking for what? Do you know what he went out looking for? Maybe just something else.
He went out looking for, I can't remember. Hang on, I'm at that part right now, so give me a sec.
Okay, so yep, go ahead and try to find that. I'm looking for it too. I think it was gas, but I can't remember for sure. Let's take a look, and they are spinning out right now.
Okay, so they spin out, and he says, "How's AJ? He's fine. You sure?
I got it.
He's fine."
I know what he went for now, if you want me to read.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. So Kenny says he's gonna go.
Oh yeah, one of them have diesel.
Yeah, we're running on fumes. Got no choice. He has to go look for gas. He gets out of the car, and I am left with Jane in the car. Or me and Bros are left with Jane as Clementine. Kenny's gone, and Jane takes that moment to say, Clem, me and you could go
should get
right
out here.
now. We should get out of here. Leave Kenny. And I went, no, that's dumb, because I like Kenny. What did you say?
I said the same thing. I'm like, no, we are not leaving Kenny, my best friend. Like, there's no way I'm leaving him.
I said also.
I legit started screaming in real life during that recording, and I was like, no, I'm not. I just can't.
Can't leave him. Dumb. Then she says, I'm serious, Clem. We could go. And then I said, just stop making him mad, because that's all she was doing, was sitting there and poking him.
Yeah. I just got to that part. You said, well, all you're doing is making it worse. So, like, yeah.
Then she also says, you're just like him.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
Yep. Fun stuff. So, kind of going through this a little bit faster, the snowstorm happens, and then for some reason, I believe, I don't remember why, but we start driving, and we pretty much, she's just like, floor it. So we end up driving through a bunch of walkers, and we end up getting stuck on a snowbank.
The reason she said leave is because there's a ton of walkers coming towards us.
Oh, okay. So we tried to leave because of the walkers.
We crashed into a walker. Yep. And then we crash our car, and then that's where we get out of the car and run.
We get out of the car and run, and Jane just friggin' dips. She dips.
Important detail right here. She takes AJ with her.
Yes. So we're in the car, we're flying around, and then there's a walker in our windshield, like swiping at us, and Jane just decides to dip out the side with AJ. She doesn't try to help us at all. She just decides to dip, and then she runs away. She runs off somewhere. She doesn't stick around to say, hey, Clem, are you okay? She just runs.
Exactly.
Made me so mad. So we're there.
She didn't say a thing.
She didn't say a thing. Go ahead, and you were gonna say something quick.
No, I was just gonna say she didn't say a thing.
Okay. And now we are there to fend for ourselves in a blizzard with a gun, luckily, but Jane just left. She didn't say where she was going. She didn't try to help us. And now we are walking alone in a blizzard. In this moment, Bros, what are you thinking?
Yeah. What?
In this moment where she has left you alone, she took AJ.
What was I thinking?
What are you thinking in this moment as you're walking?
I mean, in real life, I was honestly panicking. I was like, there's so many thoughts going through my head. There's a fly on me. Okay. But yeah, there was so many thoughts and just emotions flowing through my head at that moment. I was like I had so many questions. where is she gonna go? Where is she gonna take AJ? How is she gonna navigate herself through this? Like, how are we gonna find Kenny? Where did Kenny go? There were so many questions I had in my head, and I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot.
It was quite the battle, the internal battle of your mind. And I had the same thing, like, why? First off, I was wondering, why did she just leave? Why didn't she check on us?
Yeah.
You know, we just got in a car crash. Why did she, first off, not help us by killing the walker? Second off, why didn't she stay around to make sure we were okay?
Yeah.
It's a valuable question, and it's a realistic question too. You would think if you care about someone and you just got in a car crash, you're gonna be like, oh my God, are you all right? And she didn't do that.
No, she didn't at all.
Do you think Kenny would have, by chance?
Oh, yes. Definitely. 100%.
Yeah, I have a
Kenny prioritizes us and the baby, like, first.
I
think we've made that pretty clear.
Anti-Jane-itis, and sorry for interrupting. Go ahead. What?
No, I was just saying how Kenny obviously prioritizes Clementine and AJ first. He puts them first.
Right.
So, yeah.
Then, as we're walking through the snowstorm, we see a little
convenience store.
Convenience store, gas station type thing. And we see Kenny inside. In this moment, after you see Kenny, what do you say to him, bros?
I actually want to see what I said.
Sure. Yeah, get the exact details.
So yeah, he's asking where AJ is. I said he's with her. He took her with him, or he took him with her, and he's like, "Oh, you left her with her?" I'm like, "No, I didn't leave him with her." And then the first thing I said, no, I guess he just takes off out the front.
Yep, he runs off. He's worried about AJ.
I think the first thing I would have said to him is that, help, Jane took off with AJ.
Right. Oh, I'm getting to the part where Jane is coming back, and Kenny's like, "Where is AJ? You know, where is the kid? Where is he?" And
no. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh geez. This is. Oh
yep.
Man.
And Kenny. This is the thing that I'm fired off about most. Kenny or Jane just takes off, and this is one of those comparison things. The moment he realizes AJ is gone or missing, he goes frantically looking. He runs out. He runs back in. When Jane comes in and she says, you know, he's gone, he has this heartfelt, like, saddened, depressed look on his face, like, oh my God, this is a terrible tragedy. And he runs out looking for her, right? Or him?
Yeah.
Jane, on the other hand, when Clementine may be in trouble, what did she do? She ran off and just did her own thing. And that is the main difference. So.
And then this is where Jane starts trying to convince us to trust her. In this situation where AJ's gone, I can't trust her. I can't trust that. What were you thinking at that time?
I was thinking, why aren't you being more specific on telling us where AJ is? I was wondering what was going on, and I said, where is he? And she just basically said, you have to trust me. And in that moment, I decided, you're doing something friggin' sneaky. Why don't you just tell me where AJ is? Because that is the more important question. So you're doing something right now.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. But and then here comes Kenny. This is where some stuff goes down.
What kind of stuff, bros? What kind of stuff?
Oh boy. Okay, so Kenny's come storming in, and I think what I said to him was, I just hold out my hands in front of him to try to stop him. And it seems like you said, is it true about AJ? And then, this is where Kenny starts screaming at her, how could you kill a child and then they start fighting. Jane pulls out her knife. Kenny pulls out his fists. But yeah, that survival knife she has is very sharp.
Yes, it is. And in
and
that
then
moment,
he throws her into the glass. Oh,
and then
that
she
hurts.
digs into his eyeball. Oh my God.
Ow!
In this moment, I couldn't, like, I was just like, at this moment, I like stopped fighting. I needed them to stop fighting because I don't know. It was just such a intense thing. She ended up kneeing him in the balls in my playthrough. Holy crap. I'm watching what's happening right now. So she took the knife out.
Oh, I saw the. Oh wow.
Yep, Kenny ran towards her and she took out the knife and slid it across his stomach.
And
so now he's cutting.
The reason, yeah, he has a cut in his stomach.
I decided to get between them to like maybe stop them somehow. Like stay away, don't do anything you're gonna regret.
Honestly, if I had the choice to shoot Jane earlier, I would have. I think so.
Yeah, I probably would have as well. She maliciously did this whole thing knowing what would happen. You know what I mean? Hold on, we'll talk about it in a second.
We're almost there.
Yeah, we're almost there. And so Kenny gets the knife and he stabs Jane in the knee and then knocks Clementine over in the process, which then there's a gun sitting by Clementine. Kenny's on top of Jane holding the knife towards Jane's chest. Yeah. And Clementine has the decision to make whether to shoot Kenny or to look away.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm mad I didn't give you the option to shoot Jen or what's her name?
Jane,
yeah.
I think, I mean, in a weird
Then again, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, in a weird kind of way, she did say, trust me, don't do anything. She said, don't interfere with what's about to happen. So we didn't interfere with what's about to happen.
I mean,
so yeah, there's
that's
that.
Funny. That's funny.
So
yeah, I mean, we didn't interfere. We let you die.
We let it happen. We let it play out.
Yeah. So yeah, Kenny pretty much. I'll just summarize this up quick in case they didn't understand. Pretty much, Kenny was holding a knife right about to go into Jane, her chest, and Clementine had the gun. You had an option to either shoot Kenny or look away. Me and Mitch, I believe, did the option to look away because I personally was not going to shoot Kenny. So,
ditto.
I mean,
yeah, I did the same thing. I wasn't gonna shoot him. I want to
ask you why you didn't shoot Kenny, but I feel like it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, now it's obvious. Now that I got a chance to explain all of the stuff up to this point. And same with you. It's like we kind of talked about it, and we have this giant backstory with this character, and we understand that Jane is trying to bend things into her own will. So she's trying to deceive us, and she ultimately did, because after Jane dies, we find out that there's a baby crying in the distance.
Yeah, and she did all of that, just to prove a point.
Yeah, just to prove a point that Kenny can get angry sometimes, and that's pretty much the point that she proved.
But I agree with Kenny there. When you get very angry and won't...
Yeah, especially...
I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but I feel like a lot of people, if your son or your child, because let's be honest, AJ is pretty much Kenny's child. Not literally, but he kind of takes him in. So if someone pretty much killed your child, wouldn't you want to kill that person almost?
It would definitely put a rage in me that...
Yeah.
So I understand Kenny's got an anger thing. it's more so as well too that, you know, here's the thing too, that I'm trying to like compose this in the best phrase I can. She had an opportunity to tell us what happened to AJ.
She did, but I still would have wanted her gone.
Correct. You're right. But think about it. Think about this. She knew not saying what happened or not saying what she did was going to cause Kenny to become angry. And, you know, we asked her plenty of times, oh my God, is it true? What happened to him? You know, where did he go? What happened? Jane, tell us what happened. And she deliberately just stayed silent, knowing full well Kenny would get angry and he would try to like attack. And, you know, sometimes in some people's minds, you would think, okay, he's attacking her. It's probably not the most, you know, stable, sound decision. But Kenny's a very, very, very protective person. And you essentially just killed the closest thing he had to another child. That's going to end wrong. It's going to end bad for you.
Yeah. It is.
So, yeah.
I feel like she should have expected that outcome.
Right, and she did. She expected him to get angry and attack her, but she thought a little knife would protect her, and it didn't end in her favor.
So, and then, okay, what were you thinking when, after that all went down and Jane was dead, when it gave you the option to shoot Kenny again, what were you thinking there?
It did? What? Hold on.
Yes, you didn't know that?
Let me go back.
After that, it gives you an option. You didn't see that?
I guess I didn't. What the hell? I see it right now. I'm looking at it. You know, he's gone. The options are, why did this happen? Are you okay? You didn't have to kill her or shoot Kenny.
Didn't see that?
No, I guess I didn't. I think I read, why did this happen? And I just clicked on that because that was the thing I was thinking exactly at that moment. I didn't see the shoot Kenny option. Wow.
Yeah.
What in the world? I wonder who does that. Have you seen that play out at all?
Uh-huh. I have.
What happens?
That is one of the outcomes where if you let Kenny kill Jane and then you shoot Kenny, they're both dead. And that's an outcome where you and AJ, you guys both just venture off alone together.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
You don't even go to Wellington.
Oh my gosh, how does this go into season 3? Oh my god.
Right?
I'm so excited.
It's insane.
Okay, well, for those that are kind of caught up now, you know, me and Bros both didn't kill Kenny. We let him kill Jane, and then we hear her crying in the distance, and Jane deliberately put AJ in a car, and you know, she just put him there to play a trick on Kenny to make him think that he was dead, to make him angry. And this ultimately ended up in her dying because he got angry and killed her. So we at this point know that Jane was trying to manipulate the entire situation, and in my playthrough, I think I did the best ending that I could have chosen, which was, or do you want to go over if you think your ending was good as well, or do you want to say anything before we go into the ending part?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So pretty much you find AJ, you and Kenny have AJ with you, and you do end up going to Wellington. And so it's just this last. So okay, when you get to Wellington, you see if there's any room for you to like stay there with other people. And it was hard because once you got there, the unfortunate thing was they gave you like a duffel bag, and it was full of supplies, and Kenny and me, the players, Mitch, and Clementine, obviously, were all like confused, and we're like, oh no, this is like really depressing in a way that you traveled all this way just to get to this place so you could be safe, and then you're just like, you can't do anything. It's out of room.
And they just turn you away.
Yeah. So the two decisions, I believe, were like, if you did go with Kenny, I believe the two decisions were to you could go to Wellington with AJ because there was room for you to take. They could take only the kids, which was Clementine and AJ, or you were able to go with Kenny.
I'm gonna give a slight little bit of backstory. So as they walked up to the place, you know, the lady comes out and Kenny goes, "Is this Wellington?" And she goes, "Well, that's people call it." And so we think as the players, "Oh my God, we've made it! We've made it to Wellington, and we're gonna be saved at this point." And then she goes, "Well, this is the point where I got to give you guys the bad news." And you know, Kenny goes, "What?" And we just see a shocked look in his eyes. And she goes, "Well, we can't take you guys because we're full. And, you know, you're not the only ones we've turned away. It's as hard as it can be, but we can't take it when we're already full capacity." And in the middle of her saying that, Kenny goes, in like a crying voice, he's starting to tear up, and he says, "Just take the kids." He goes, "You know, you guys have room for kids. They're just kids. And yeah, I'll stay outside, and I'll sacrifice my safety for theirs." And she goes back in and and she talks to him, and they say, "Okay, we'll take the kids, but just the kids." And it's a moment of just sheer depression and emotion, because you have to decide. This is the decision Bros was talking about. You have to decide between letting Kenny leave you at Wellington, and you and AJ will have a safe and secure life, but then you leave Kenny and he can't come with you, or you go with Kenny and you guys don't have the safety and security of Wellington. And yeah, go ahead. Now, that was just the backstory that I wanted to throw in there just to kind of catch you guys up. So go ahead, Bros.
Yeah. So, yeah, as Mitch was saying, you get the choice, and I think I believe if you choose to go with Kenny, then he's like, "Oh, you are a darn stubborn mule," which was funny. And so yeah, you go off with Kenny, and they do actually give you a second bag of supplies.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's for the most part what happens if you go with Kenny.
What did you end up choosing, like, for your actual playthrough?
I chose to stay at Wellington.
You chose to stay at Wellington, and I did as well. So we are safe at Wellington with AJ. Tell me, why did you make that decision? What choices, what ideas did you ultimately make the conclusion that was the best option in the moment?
It's hard because, like, it was a hard decision. I'm glad it gave us lots and lots of time to decide, because I think they knew it was going to be a hard decision for a lot of people.
Yep.
And personally, me, of course, it was a very hard decision. And I'm sure it was as for you. Yeah, but I think the reason I did this is because personally, it felt like Kenny wanted to do something to, like, I think this was his way of showing, like, he finally did something to feel good about himself, and, like, it was his moment, you know?
Yep.
And, like, also, like, I trusted him, and I thought it'd be, because, like, at the end of the day, Kenny could, there's so many chances that there's a giant chance that Kenny could walk out of there alone, and he could end up getting killed. He could.
Yep.
He very well could. And if you go with him, that's like, you would most likely die with him, unfortunately. So I chose to stay safe with AJ, and I wanted the baby safe mostly. So I think a lot of the decision was because it was letting Kenny have his moment, but at the same time, it was also because I wanted the baby to be safe and have a good life starting out. So he wouldn't have to be surrounded by all the nonsense going outside, you know?
Right.
He'd be safe for at least a few years.
Yep, and that's part of Kenny's speech that he gave, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You have to take this. You aren't sure what'll happen outside these walls, but in there you'll have food, you'll have safety, you'll have warmth for you and AJ. And in this moment, so me and Bros are like crying at this point.
Yeah, we both were.
So was Clementine, so was Kenny, and
yeah,
my goodness. And I agree with you on every single part that you said, where this was Kenny's moment. Up until then, like, he has had so much crap happen to him. He has had everybody die on him. He's had everyone that he's loved and loved him die on him in front of him. So this was his moment where he could make sure that someone that he loved was taken care of and got to live a better life.
And he knew he wouldn't be able to hurt them anymore.
Right. He would no longer put them in danger. He would no longer put them in any situation where they could potentially hurt. And it just worked out. It was the perfect situation for him, and it was the perfect ending for his story with Clementine in terms of, like, this is the safest option that was presented to us. Yeah. And I completely agree with you that it was his moment to just kind of go, hey, go ahead. It's okay. Take care of yourself. I'll be okay out here, but you guys will have a better life in there, and you guys are going to be better off than with me out here. So that is the ending that me and Bros both took, and it's a crazy coincidence that out of how many endings? 6, right?
5.
Me and him ended up with the same ending out of this story, and I haven't seen any of the other endings. So Bros, go over kind of what happens with the other ones quick.
Okay, so pretty much I went over the one where if you end up shooting Kenny, then you and AJ go off alone, and you don't go to Wellington. And then there's two Kenny endings. We just went over those. You can go to Wellington without Kenny, or you can go with Kenny outside of Wellington and just continue living in the world you've been living in. And then there's this there's also 2 Jane endings. So I mean, the 2 Jane endings aren't that different, like, at all.
Okay.
You're still with Jane, but the 2 Jane endings are so you actually, I guess technically there's 3 Jane endings, except so if you kill Kenny and leave Jane alive, you can decide to go with Jane to where Carver was, and you actually see his dead corpse.
Wait, what?
Yes. You go back to where Carver's camp was because that's where Jane wanted to go because they had a lot of supplies there. Okay, so there's 2 Kenny endings, one with you go with him.
I think you just went over. I think you went over one of the Jane endings, and then you didn't talk about the other 2. Did you?
Wait, did I talk about the Kenny ones already?
Yes, you did. The one where Wellington or you're on the own with him, right?
Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, and then there's 2 Jane endings. One, I'll just go over the third one, even though it's pretty much the same as the one where you're alone.
Sure.
So yeah, there's if you decide to keep Kenny or Jane, if you decide to keep Jane alive and you kill Kenny, then you get the chance to go with Jane to Carver's camp.
Oh, okay.
And get supplies because he had a lot of supplies there, right? So if you go there, then you get a lot of supplies. However, this family comes along.
Okay.
A family of 3. They come along and they say that their son is sick and they need medicine and food and supplies and water and stuff. And Jane is trying to convince Clementine that we can't trust these people. We don't know if they're trying to trick us or what. And you get the chance to pretty much say, yeah, we can let these people in, or you can say, no, these we can't trust these, and you can be with Jane. So yeah, those are the 2 Jane endings, and then the third one is another one where you're alone. You can just say, no, I can't trust you anymore. After you go and find AJ, you're with Jane, and you can say, no, I can't trust you, and you leave with AJ. So
oh wow,
those are all
holy crap. I can't imagine.
What?
I can't imagine being on your own with AJ. Holy crap.
Right. And you're not even in Wellington. You're just traveling through the world you're in now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would not want to be on that ending. I would say if I had to, I would go with Jane, if, just rather than being alone, just to be with somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'd say out of all the endings, I'd prefer that, or I think ours is probably near the top in terms of what I would prefer.
Yeah. I think the top 2 I would have done is definitely the one we did, and the other one where you could have went with Kenny.
You could have went with Kenny. Yeah, I think top 1 is the one we did. Second top is one with Kenny. Third to top is probably, as much as I would have not went with it, but go with Jane to the other place. And speaking of letting people in, I probably would have, just because that's the kind of person I am.
And it's another kid, so it's like,
oh, there's an actual kid there.
Yeah, the kid was the guy in the family that was sick, and they needed medicine and supplies for him.
Was there an actual child, and was it just some parents saying, hey, my kid is sick back home, or were they?
No, there was an actual child with them.
Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah, I would have let them in, no problem.
Yeah.
So I believe
those are all the endings. So
I believe that is the finish of episode 5.
Let's go over all our choices.
We have to go over our choices. You're
Yep.
right. Okay, let me move this over quick, and then let's make this maximum. All right, I'm on the screen. You can see my crying face.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, so my choice is episode 5, no going back. That is for sure.
That's right.
So first choice, selflessness, protected the baby. You only 50, I'm rounding it up, only 59% protected the baby. Really?
That is a very shocking number. I think that what that means is, when you have to run over to Luke or the baby, I think that's what that means, right?
Yeah, that's what it, yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Oh,
what?
yeah. I was like, I read the next one. It says went to help Luke, and I thought that was relating to the same question about the baby.
That's the ice.
That's the ice. Okay, yeah, that's surprising that only 60% of players went to protect the baby, and they went to Luke instead. Interesting.
40? Yeah, I thought it'd be more like 70 to 30 or like 80 to 20, something like that.
That's definitely interesting. I never would have expected that.
Yeah.
Went to help Luke on the lake.
Went to help. Yeah, I'm clearly outnumbered here.
You and
77% did not.
Yep. So how about that? How about them apples, bros? I don't know. I'm not saying what you did was wrong or what I did was right. It's just the percentage of players obviously decided not to for some reason. And
no, I think that definitely was a smarter decision. I just think I think that was one of the decisions I chose poorly, but again, it's in the moment situation.
Right.
That's what this game puts you in.
Right.
So yeah.
How about loyalty?
Loyalty, asked to leave with Mike. Oh no. I don't want to do that. And even if you did ask to leave with Mike, I think Arvo will still shoot you.
Who knows? I don't, oh my God, that would be a tragic turn. Jeez. So yeah, you and
Hey, Mike, can I come with
80.9.
you?
80.9% of players didn't ask to leave. So that was a very unanimous one there.
Yeah.
This is a surprising
Same
one.
with the risk. I think like, oh,
What?
no, never mind.
What?
Never mind. I was looking at the end, but we're not there yet.
So look at this next one and look at the percentage. Survivalism. Shot.
Oh my
Kenny.
gosh.
49.1% of players. That is a divided question.
Wow.
That means what? What were you saying?
That means that, oh my, it's outnumbered.
That means more than 50%.
49.1% didn't shoot.
Right.
That means
51% did.
50, what?
That means more than half, by 1%, ended up shooting him. Isn't that
Shocked.
a statistic?
I'm shocked.
I am too.
Wow.
So that means, well, that also goes on to
I
our...
love Kenny. I didn't want to shoot Kenny.
Right. But then again, think about it.
Man.
Just like my cousin said, he thought Kenny was a psycho
you're
and
right.
he would have shot him no problem.
You are
And that is
correct.
crazy
Yep.
to think about. So it goes into how each person individually plays their game. And I'm excited to watch Lizzie play this too, because I know she's gonna finish season 1 eventually.
Really?
Yeah, she's like halfway through season 1. She's at the farmers camp, or just got done with that now. And yeah,
Is she recording it or no?
she's not recording season 1. It has been quite a while since she played it, so we might have to just go do a rerun. So she might record up to that point, and then do it there. But yeah, I'm gonna have a kind of a comparison to when we meet or when she finishes, and I'm gonna kind of go, hey, guess what I did here, and then we're gonna go over that. So that'll be kind of fun. With the 49.1% of players didn't shoot Kenny, that means that we are in the minority for the last question.
We are. So how do we do that math?
So
50% would have had an ending with Kenny, right?
51% wouldn't have had an ending with Kenny. 49.1
did.
would have. Yes. This, I'm guessing, is...
I don't know if there's a chance, like, after you do get an ending with, like, if you don't shoot Kenny, I don't know if you can leave Kenny or not. You might have an option to just say, I can't be with you anymore as well.
Maybe.
Like
Yeah, I think that might be an option. We can go back and look after this is over, but you in 21.4.
Assuming there's not, then that would mean like 26% or something like that went with Kenny.
I'm assuming that
end.
this is marked up like it's 21.4% of players are with AJ Wellington, 20 point something percent is with Kenny, 20 point something is with Jane, and 20 point something is with by yourself. It may be like that. I don't know. I want to know the actual statistics.
Yeah.
But it's we'd have to choose a different ending for that. We have to go and spend a lot of time to do that. So maybe we can just find out online eventually.
Or we should. We might make a future video, like a short little video going over that. But yeah. I guess that wraps it up for the final podcast.
What are you thinking? Final thoughts, quick. Final thoughts on the entire season 2.
I loved it.
You loved it?
I did.
Did you like it more than season 1?
Roller coaster of emotions. Did I like it more than season 1? I think I did. I think I did. It was a bit of a pain not having Lee there with you, but like after you play it a little while, I think you do get used to him not being with you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a giant roller coaster of emotions. I loved it. I cannot wait to play season 3 with you. It's gonna be a blast.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, overall, yeah, I liked it. So, what about you?
I would say, yeah, I would say I liked it better than season 1. Season 1 was kind of like, in a way, it was kind of like the setup. Is the setup for season 2.
Right. Yeah.
And then season 2 kind of hits you with all of this action that we talked about, and it was preparing you for this mental roller coaster of over and over and over. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And that pretty much wraps up the end of episode 5 of the podcast. So with that being said, I want to say thank you guys so much for joining, and please like the video. We're going to have double podcasts. Make sure to subscribe to Bros for Life and my channel as well, and leave a comment letting us know what you thought about the entire series and about the podcast series too, because this is our first time doing this, and we kind of wanted to.
I think it went really well.
I think it did too. And we have a lot of content in here that I did not think was going to be a content. So this is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like honestly, I feel like we obviously don't have that many viewers, but for the viewers we do have, I feel like some of them could possibly listen to this in a car while they're on a road trip or something. Just an idea. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good, a bunch of good listening material, and if someone wants to just listen to it and kind of go over their thoughts and compare thoughts with us as well, it's a great opportunity to do so. But with that being said, thanks for joining us for this entire journey of
Thank you so much.
Season 2, and now the podcast as well.
And season 3 is coming up.
Season 3 is coming up.
Probably within a few days of this being uploaded.
We're doing season 3. We still have to work out a schedule because I know Bros is working on some more videos as well. You're going to be doing
I have
Unraveled 2.
A few other series.
You're going to do
A Way Out. Dishonored.
Yep. So we have a lot of things in the pipeline, so we'll have to kind of work around those. But for the meantime, we have these podcasts and future The Walking Dead episodes as well. So keep that in the back of your mind. It's coming. And it's exciting. So we're going to be rolling with that soon. I want to say thank you guys so much for joining for this incredible journey. Thank you, Bros, for having this podcast with me. And I'm happy to have joined you with it on it as well. And I want to say thanks everyone again for joining. I am going to go to bed because I'm tired. And I want to say thanks again for everyone. And hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Bye.
Oh my God.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching this podcast. You heard what Mitch said. I'm just going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed. Go subscribe to Virtual Party Center, please. I will leave a link in the description. He's a great dude, great guy, really funny person.
Not really.
And yeah. Yes, you are. All right, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.